Be lovely to see you. Be lovely if you're there. The other day, I was able to go out onto, I was actually able to go straight out. So I am in my group now. Hi, everybody. Morning. It's 10 to 10, so a bit earlier than usual today. I've got some better light today, and I've also got, I'm a bit closer to the camera. I don't know if that's actually going to make things any better, but I do sometimes find that when I stream into the group or anywhere on Facebook, that the actual picture that you see isn't very good. So I'm just literally going to see if I can find it, but you know, I'm not too worried anymore. I've gone past, as I said, I think I said the other day, I've gone past the point of worrying about Facebook. So today is day 7, 7th of December today. Wow. 7 swans are swimming. So if you're on my mailing list, email list, and if you're not on my email list, why aren't you on my email list? Why aren't you on my email list? So if you're on my email list, you'll know I sent an email out today, just a question. It's a question that I also put in the group as well. And it was around, what is the difference between acting on impulse and acting on intuition? It's a very interesting question, isn't it? What is the difference between acting on impulse and acting on intuition? So I sent out my email to everyone this morning on my list. I don't have a huge list. I think I probably only have about 100 people on my list. It's growing slowly, but quality is better than quantity, guys. Quality is better than quantity. And so I sent the questionnaire out, and if you're on the list, you'll notice that I've asked what you think the difference is between intuition, acting on intuition, and acting on impulse. So and this sort of links with 7 swans are swimming, because when we're swimming, when you are a swan swimming, and I've got this beautiful little picture I posted out on my email today of this lovely mother swan with 6 cygnets, lovely fluffy cygnets. So there are 7 swans are swimming in the picture, but it's beautiful, lovely. So when we are swimming, what we're doing is staying afloat. Literally, we are staying afloat. We're floating on the top of the water, and underneath the surface, there's a lot of activity going on, a lot of paddling to keep yourself upright and keep yourself moving forwards. And sometimes when you're not in, and I'm very reluctant when I choose to use some words, because I know that if I use certain words, they're going to mean different things in different countries. And so I think this is why I find sometimes it's like if I use a word and somebody from, if you like, I don't like the word UK, United Kingdom, England, Ireland, Scotland or Wales, let's say. If somebody from one of those countries hears the word, then they're likely to have a certain understanding of it. If I say the word and it's somebody from Australia or Canada or America or anywhere, that meaning of that word is going to be quite different. So if I use a word like alignment, right? Something is aligned, it means it's literally like everything is lined up. So everything is lined up. So if everything is aligned, is like really set up in the right way, it means everything stacks up. Yes. Now, when you and me, everyone is in alignment, it means that we can have agreement often over something, or we can have a conversation about something, because we both get where the other person is starting from. We are aligned. And when we are not aligned, be very careful with my words here, then it can mean that you're out of balance, right? So the analogy I would use is, supposing I had I had this pen and I was going to balance it on my finger, all right, it's easier to do it this way actually. It would have to be in a certain place, in a certain way, just to feel that point balance. Yeah. So it means that the weight on this side and the other side is aligned. Okay. Now, if we translate that into what happens when people are manifesting, and I've talked about manifesting. This is another very trendy word at the moment. People manifesting things in their life, bringing things out, manifesting, drawing towards them. If you are feeling feelings that you are creating, and this is not something that comes over you, you create those feelings. We all agree with that. When you're feeling those feelings, we call it manifesting. So in other words, bringing forth. When you're feeling those feelings, sorry, I'm just taking my shoes off. I like to have no shoes on when I'm working. When you're feeling those feelings and you're manifesting those thoughts, in other words, you're overthinking, you're struggling, that is often something giving you some feedback around not quite being in alignment. Yes. Now, in the, if you like, the very, what I would call the very spiritual complementary therapy field, unfortunately, at times, and this is my perspective, at times it can feel as if some of the practices are very disempowering for the person. So, for example, I was having a conversation recently with someone, and we were talking about hypnosis. And I was explaining that all hypnosis is a form of self-hypnosis, and the person really couldn't understand what I meant. I was explaining that because this is a process that you are doing from the inside out. Yeah. I've just been having a conversation with somebody in the last few days with regard to an issue that the person has. And at first I was very keen to support and help, making an offering. And then my intuition, I began to start to notice the responses, the reactions, the behavior. And I didn't feel that there was a congruence there, that the person was, if you like, aligning with me with the degree of respect that I felt was comfortable. And how did I gauge that? Well, you might say, well, some of the things that you're talking about are very subjective. But, if somebody wants help and they're offered some help and a day or 18 hours goes by and there's no response, then to me, that's a sign that that person is possibly not at all interested. Now, it could be, arguably, that someone is busy, right? So sometimes it's a good idea to give people a bit of time because you don't know what's going on in their life. However, when I've given somebody, say, 24 hours notice and they still haven't come back, but I can see they're commenting on social media, so I know they're active, then I have to start to make some judgments. And that is, the messenger must be working, their email must be working, the opportunity is there for them to contact me, and yet they're not. So that begins to start to get me feeling, okay. So this is where, as someone who works aware of the fact that a big percentage of mending the interaction between two people is based around just that relationship of trust, that deep relationship of trust, of the person wanting to make shifts and changes, but actually being prepared to take the risk of working with somebody else because they've got to lose control at that point of what's going on. If what happens is the person that I'm working with is exhibiting signs that they are wanting to control the situation, then my feeling is it probably isn't somebody for me to be working with. Now, I don't know how many of you listening to this can actually sort of vibe with that. I don't know how many of you listening to this are able to actually say, yeah, I get that. I know exactly what you're feeling. But when things are really, really working well, like if you've got a client and you're really, really working together well, then actually it should feel really comfortable. And that enables me to be able to do my job really, really well, because I can sense and feel what is going on with the person that I'm working with. However, if I come across resistance, or I come across blocks, or I come across delays, or whatever, and for me, as someone who works very much around blending medical science and this intuition side, if I feel that that's not in a line for me, then I know it's probably not in a line with the client. So I would say that one of the things that causes the work that I do to be so different is that of the number of people who reach out to me for support, there is actually going to be only a small percentage of people that I will end up working with for a long period of time. Because the people that I work with tend to be at a certain point and be prepared to actually commit to the process. So the reason that I came in today was because I was interested in this question about the difference between acting on intuition and acting on impulse. And one of my dogs is barking in the background there. So for me, the difference between acting on impulse is that there is usually a different form of, if you like to call it, energy there. When you act on impulse, action on impulse might be that you impulse buy something. You do it because you want to feel good, so you buy something, and then you get home and it's like, why did I buy this thing? God, I should have really thought this through. It might be that you act on impulse where you're in a situation and you start to think, I don't feel very safe here. So on impulse, you leave the space. So for me, when you act on impulse, there is a different energy to acting on impulse. Acting on impulse has got a certain speed, different speed to it from acting on from your place of intuition. So when I'm working with somebody, I have absolutely no concerns if somebody is talking to me about some of their medical problems and I know that they need to go and see their doctor, get blood tests done, get x-rays done, discuss with the doctor about the problems that they've got. I know they need to do that. So that's not impulse, that's science. All right. And for my own comfort and security, I know that they need to do it. Now, if somebody refuses to do that and then decides that they want to continue working with me, my impulse might be to just close the door and say, well, I'm not working with you anymore. My intuition might say to me, it would be interesting to find out what it is that's going on for this person and support them in that path. However, sometimes it very much depends on the situation and circumstances, and I could talk about this at length, but I would love to have you comment if you are in the group today. I would love to hear your comments about what you consider the difference is and whether you can think of any situations and circumstances where you can truly say, yeah, in that situation, I was acting on impulse and I got it right. And what speed it was that you were acting on. And also times where you've maybe acted on intuition and it's worked for you or hasn't worked for you. You've worked on your intuition and you've acted on your intuition and the dogs are barking and they've got some intuition about something that's going on. They're not acting on impulse. They might be seeing the magpie that's outside eating the fat, acting on impulse. They're going, ruff, go away. Or it might be that they're hearing something or sensing a vibe or knowing there's snow coming or feeling something that I can't feel and wanting to let me know, a bit worried, a bit concerned, because most times my dogs bark because they're worried. They want my attention, or they hear me talking and they think I've got people here. Who's there, mummy? Are they going to come and play with us? So I'd love to know your stories about a time when you acted on impulse, a time when you acted, and you can say that was just my intuition kicking in. So have a lovely day. It's the 7th day of Christmas today. Jillimus, Jolly Jillimus. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Today we were not doing any long training in the group because I'm coming in every day up until 31st of December. Remember, if you want to book a quick consultation with me, I'm still doing my £97 offer until the 15th of December. So you've still got another 8 days to book that. And you can book as many of those as you like. And it's 90 minutes. So it's a 90-minute session for just £97, which is really good value. Or there's a bigger package that you can buy, which is available up until Christmas. Or there's a bigger package from there that you can buy that's also available that takes you through 6 months support. So have a lovely day. Take care. Love you all. And I shall now endeavour to come off here, end everything, and go with doing some work that I've got to do. Take care. Love you. Bye.